At what point in life do we educate our children to hate and to love? Or at what instances do we tell our children that it is not right to hate what they hate, and it is time, or it is the right time, to love what they have decided to love? The reason I'm making this video is because for one, I'm a kind of person that no matter the analysis I make, I have principles, and I would say to some extent I have morals, and I live according to my morals. I heard my son sing a song in Hebrew, and in that song, even though I did not really understand the words of the song, but I heard Israel and Iran in that song. And after he sang that song, I clapped for him. I said, "Wow, you sang well," even though I didn't really understand what he sang about. And I asked him, "What was that song about?" I'm talking about Lishai, my 5-year-old son. And he said, "I was singing about Israel and Iran." And I asked him, "What was it about?" And he said, "Because I don't like Iran." He doesn't know the word hate yet. But if a child says, "I don't like something," what that child means is that I hate that thing. When I heard that statement, I told him, "Lishai, no, not on my watch. I'm not gonna see you grow up to hate." I told him, "No, don't say you don't like Iran. Say you don't like what Iran is doing. You don't like the situation that Iran is putting on us right now. That's the right thing to say. I don't want you to hate a whole nation just because of the error of some people. And also understand that right now in Iran, even as Israel is still taking on the offensive, there are people, I showed you guys the news, there are people who are in support of a regime change in Iran. There are Iranians who are supporting what Israel is doing right now. So if you say, or if my son in this case, if I allow him to grow up with the idea or with the hatred or with the not liking Iran, what about those people in Iran that supports a regime change? It's as a result of one person, the Ayatollah, that is bringing this problem, because they do not want Israel to exist. But that is not the mindset of all Iranians. That's not the mindset of all the people in Iran. So when my son said, "I do not like Iran," that is what will keep bringing everlasting conflict between Israel and Iran. Because if I let him grow up with this mindset, if I let him grow up with this mentality, and also the kids in Iran growing up, and they will tell their parents, "I don't like Israel." So imagine now my son here in Israel growing up with a mindset that he doesn't like Iran, an Iranian kid in Iran growing up with a mindset that he doesn't like Israel. Tell me, how will this conflict ever end? It will never end. That's how it will keep going from generation to generation. So it is left for us adults and our parents, no matter how much we feel right now about what is going on, no matter the displeasure and the discomfort, but do you really want there to be peace in this region? Then it is time for us to act now, to educate our children. Yeah, what is happening is bad. What Iran is doing is bad, but it's not the whole of Iran. It's just one person or a regime out of their hatred that grew, that wasn't checked, also right from when they were small. Because I believe Khamenei and his regime, maybe as a kid, he also told his parents the same thing, "I don't like Israel." And the parents encouraged him until it became what it has become today. So it is left for us to, explain to our children what is really going on. On the Iranian side, when a Iranian kid tells his parents, "I don't like Israel," they can educate that child and say, "My son or my daughter, I understand the hatred and the animosity you feel right now. But please, I want you to understand that what is going on right now in Iran, nobody likes it. But do you remember your cousin, my brother, my sister, that was killed because they protested? Did you like that? Now you do not have a brother anymore. Now you do not have an uncle anymore. Or now you don't even have a father because they protested. And it wasn't Israel that killed those people because of protest. It is our own country. So what Israel is doing, even though it has brought about lives and property, but it is for the greater good. We have to educate our children about hate and love. Yes, a child's mind is clean and pure, and whatever they say, they are saying out of honesty. But we have to mold, we have to reshape whatever is going on in their mind, because if we let our kids grow up with the mentality that they are growing up right now, trust me, there is never going to be any peace. So as much as it hurts you to explain to your child that this is what is going on, but it's not as a result of all the people in that country that are responsible, it might pain, it might not sound nice, but you are doing it for the future. When Raphael, my first son, who is 13, who will be 13 years very soon, when he was 4 years old, we were walking in the street of Haifa, then they were living in Haifa. We saw a group of religious people, Jews, they wear the kippah, the robe, the black and white, and Raphael pointed at them, made a statement. Why are they dressed like that? That he doesn't like the way they dressed at the age of 4 immediately. That was even with his own people. But as a kid, he doesn't understand. Immediately I shut him up. I said, no, don't ever. First of all, I always tell my kids not to point their fingers at anyone. I told Raphael, don't ever say that. In fact, it's because of their difference that has made this world colorful. I explained to Raphael who they are. And they are not to be seen differently than us or than other people who are not religious. So what am I trying to say? Dear parents, from both countries, whether from Iran or here from Israel, yes, we know even you as a parent, the hatred you have for the other country, we understand. But do you want there to be peace? Even this your child growing up that told you that he or she hates the other country, they are going to grow up. We're all going to go. And in their time, do you know the kind of war that will come up today? It's ballistics, it's a threat of nuclear weapon. But in their time, do you know what will happen? So it's now, no matter how painful it is, let us educate our kids. I know a lot of people might not like this video, but as long as I live, I will not see my kids grow up with hatred because a group of people did something wrong. And they project that hatred out of innocence to a whole nation. That is not going to happen at my watch. I'm sorry. Because since this war started, I have made analysis and made people understand what is going on, especially on the site here in Israel where I'm living. And it's not pleasant for us. It is not. We don't like what is going on. We don't like what Khamenei is doing. But I cannot say that is what the whole of Iran is doing. Yes, we use Iran, we use Israel so that people will know, okay, these two countries are fighting. But in the end, it's not the whole of Israel that is firing at Iran. It's not the whole of Israel that is flying fighter jets into Iran. It's their fighters. Also in Iran, it's not the whole of the Iranian people that are sending ballistics to Israel. It's a regime. It's their soldier. It's their forces. So I cannot live to hear my child say he hates or he doesn't like a particular nation just because one stubborn regime has refused to do the right thing. No, because I know that there are people in Iran who really love what is going on there. I know there are people in Iran who are in support of the regime change because they have seen what from this regime. So, is it right for my son to hate on those people also who wants change? It's not right. So if my son had told me, or if he knows who Ali Khamenei is, if he told me, I hate Ali Khamenei, I would say, yes, me too. I hate him. I can allow him to say that. One person, be specific. Okay? I'm just going to give you one last example. It's just like what Boko Haram or Fulani herdsmen is doing in the north. Let's say these people, they had arsenals, they had weapons to fire rockets or their missiles or to attack a different country out of Nigeria or even in Nigeria. And then somebody comes to say, I hate Nigeria because Boko Haram attacked my country. No, that's wrong. That's not right. Be specific. Hate who is doing the work, not a whole. Don't project your hatred on a whole nation just because of the evil of minorities. And also that goes for the same thing with tribalism. If one person hurts you from a different tribe, that doesn't give you the opportunity to hate a whole tribe just because one person from a tribe hurt you, hurt your feelings. That ain't right. So I'm sorry. I'm not going to live to see my children become symbols of hatred, because then there will never be peace in this region. If that hatred goes on, if we allow it to foster, it's our place, it's our duty as parents to educate our children about these things. Yes, even though it's painful, even though it's annoying, even though it's hurtful, my child, it is one wicked person causing this whole thing. Do not put your animosity, your hatred on a whole nation just because one person has refused to do the right thing. It's your boy, the crackhead. Please, let's learn to educate our children in matters of love and hate, especially if it involves a larger scale, a larger group of people. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.